I just finished reading this novel, She Took My Arm as If She Loved Me by Herbert Gold. It's actually very difficult to talk about a book that you like very much. It's difficult to review a book you like very much because you want to do it justice, you want to write about it preferably, or you want to write through it or whatever. And I can talk about this book because I did not like it as much as I thought I would when I started the book. The first few pages or the first few chapters were very good. But what degenerates the book is precisely this kind of folksy wisdom, that the narrator tries to extract out of bare colloquialisms, and this sort of incongruence between the characters way of looking at things and the situation he finds himself in, and not in a good way. That is to say, the narrator does not pull it off. So Dan Kasdan is a philosopher turned private investigator, and he sort of is going about this lifestyle of marginal violence, sanctified violence, and he meets this woman Priscilla, who sweeps him off his feet. But Priscilla is not in any sense fit for him, because she has to be romanticized hopelessly in order for Dan, the main character, to sort of make sense of how much he is in love with her. This is an old trope, the romanticized heroine. And what happens is that she wants Dan, who is marginally dealing with these outlaws, to sort of become an outlaw. She wants him to see what other people who are outlaws have to say. She wants him to earn money, basically. She wants him to earn money, and Dan now sort of sees through her, sees her charade, sees that he's landed himself with a woman you don't want to land yourself with, but he already has a child with her. And so there's this messy kind of moving on process where Dan, divorced and with little money, sort of dabbles with this criminal world. And this is where the novel absolutely degenerates, because there is no real way for the writer to make Dan engage with this world without trying to extract some kind of profundity out of this very superficial sort of world. The criminal world is very superficial. So Karim, this the main criminal guy, the wealthy guy, has to be given a sort of pedestal from which he controls everything. And when Dan talks about him, instead of this sheer contempt which you would expect Dan to have, has to be transmuted into this shallow sense of respect, shallow sense of grandeur towards that character. Of course, the tone is sarcastic. So we know Dan does not really respect Karim, but the way the author handles it is that Karim must have some kind of substance in order for Dan to hang around. And so this ruins the novel. So now I should read some exceptional passages that soar above else, but I should also read those passages that ruin the book. My balance on earth is what dancing is all about, and my best memory of dancing is jumping out of an airplane, suspended by a military parachute, coming down fast with a pack on my back, high boots laced up, murder in my heart, and the wind hiding the smells and sounds of hostile fire. If you landed in a tree, it would hurt. If you rolled the wrong way, you could break your back. Once in a practice jump, I sprained an ankle, and they followed the wartime practice of the period. Morphine it, tape it, and now back to duty, soldier. Occasionally, years later, I get a twinge in that ankle and remember it's okay, but history marks the body throughout and inexorably. And it's only a twinge of weakness, not a fall or break. I can still run, jump, walk, though I hate to look down from high places. More accurately, I don't mind at all, but my stomach lurches and I get a sick taste in my mouth. When Priscilla said she no longer loved me, it was like looking down from a high place onto the distant earth and falling, dying. There are other passages of note. I may have seen more clearly before early cataracts began to bathe everyday matters in mist and glow. Calcified cell hasn't yet blacked out the lens, no clogged duct or glaucoma, but that common disease of age, call it pernicious memory, slides a series of tinted postcards onto the collector's album. Nostalgia sneaks into daydream like a preview of deteriorating eyes. Vitamin E capsules, yellow fish oil, are supposed to eat up the impurities, oozing off with their cargo of calcification, and they can't sweep away the past. So these are exceptional passages, and the author has a lot of this throughout the book. But what ruins it is this false sense of profundity, which I'm going to give only one example of, because I don't want to really go on and on about the same thing. Here you have it at last. Okay. Usually, first impressions decide whether I'm going to like a person or not. In Karim's case, it had been not. But then there was second and third impressions, and now this, and I could see why he had won Priscilla over. And the man took pleasure in his life as a man should. He saw something in me that I might want to find in myself. Since other procedures were turned out lonely, I was considering the example Priscilla was pressing on me. This is the kind of, unsellable sense of gravity that the author tries to impose on Karim, and we know it doesn't stick to Dan's personality, so the story doesn't make sense within its own logic. That's the problem. It's not that it's not realistic. It's just that the character, the incongruency between what the character is, how he feels, and what's going on outside him, and what he is made to feel is just too different, and that I think ruins the book.